Hi, fellow students. I'm Jessica Chappell. I interviewed a local student from Kalamazoo University who is originally from Venezuela. I did this to show the difference in a student's life in Venezuela in comparison to life at Kalamazoo University. At Kalamazoo University, we currently have 220 international students, which is 10% of the overall student body at Kalamazoo University. The students come from 35 different countries around the globe. All of these international students reside in the small town of Campbellsville, Kentucky for one reason. That reason being is to receive a college education with God having a strong upper hand in the process. I had an interview with one of our local international students from Caracas, Venezuela, to see how life there differs from life here at Campbellsville University. It really is strange and interesting to think about how different life can be just from where you grew up. The first question I asked our Venezuelan student is, what is the main difference from life here in Campbellsville and his life in Venezuela? His reply: I went to class, I listened to my favorite bands, I watched TV, and I spent time with my friends in Venezuela just like I do here in Campbellsville. I'm from Caracas, Venezuela, which is much bigger, and there is always something to do and something going on there. In Campbellsville, we have to make our own fun, but in Caracas, there was always something available to us for fun. Campbellsville has a population of about 11,000 people. Caracas has a population of about 4 million people. It is the capital and most populated city in Venezuela. My next question I asked our student was, what was church like for you in Venezuela? His response: I'm Catholic, which is a little different from being Baptist, but not much. I believe in the same God that you do. When I lived in Venezuela, my religion wasn't as important to me as it is now. I didn't consider it as a priority, but the setting at CU has really impacted how I feel about it now. Our churches in Caracas are huge and very decorated with a lot of statues. The most famous church in Caracas is the Iglesia de San Francisco. This beautiful church dates back to the 1500s. It was the site of a massive funeral for Simon Bolivar, and even now it is visited daily for spiritual reasons as well as tourist pleasure. 92% of Venezuelans are Roman Catholics. I next asked our Venezuelan student what made him want to come to Campbellsville University instead of a college in Venezuela. His response: I came to Campbellsville University because of all the great soccer scholarships they gave me. Now that I look at it, I think God had it in His plan so that I could become closer to Him. It really is amazing to think how someone who moved to Campbellsville from around 2,100 miles away is being affected by God so much more just by being at Campbellsville University. My next question I asked our Venezuelan student was, what were sports like for you in Venezuela? His response: the main sports that we played were soccer, tennis, and baseball. To us, it was for fun, but it was so important in our lives that it sometimes seemed like a job. Soccer for me in high school was the same as it is here at CU. Practice, practice, and more practice. In Venezuela, soccer is actually called football, but baseball is the most common sport played in Venezuela. When I asked our Venezuelan student what he missed most about Venezuela was his family. He said that he came from a very big family who he enjoyed lots of time with while they ate delicious meals. The average family size in Venezuela is 5.2 people. Venezuelans have 3 main meals: a large breakfast, a large dinner, which is usually around noontime, and a very light supper. Hospitality is widespread, So when you visit someone's home, it is expected to have something to eat and drink. When I asked our Venezuelan student what took some getting used to in Camelsville as compared to in Venezuela, his response was the nightlife. In Venezuela, the legal drinking age was 18. While I was in high school, I could legally drink, go to clubs, and bars. Since I moved to Camelsville University, even though I'm a few years older, I still can't do that anymore. This took a little getting used to, but now I'm fine with it. On average, Venezuelans consume 5 quarts a year of alcohol per person. And the government, Chavez, is trying to raise taxes on alcohol and cigarettes currently. When I asked the Venezuelan student what life really is like in Caracas, his main answer was so busy. A lot of people travel there because of how beautiful it is. They travel to see the museums and parks along with other things. There's a lot of places to shop at. Some stores are popular that are worldwide, but some are independent shops that have unique things to buy. Museo de Arte Contemporáneo is one of the best museums in South America. It even has pieces done by Picasso. Jardin Botanico is a botanical garden that contains thousands of plants. Parque Central is a huge park that is completely surrounded by buildings. Inside the park is museums, concerts, art galleries, stores, restaurants, and cafes. Parque del Este is the huge, beautiful park that even has 9 lakes inside of it. Centro Sambil has 500 stores, restaurants, and other attractions inside the mall. It is the largest shopping mall in South America. When I asked our Venezuelan students if most people drive in Venezuela, his response was, some do drive, but most people take the bus system. That's how I always got around. It was different coming to see you because to get around here, I mainly walk where I need to go unless I can get a ride from someone else. Gas for vehicles is so cheap in Venezuela. If a tank of gas in the U.S. costs $80, in Venezuela it would cost $5. The Caracas Metro is the main bus system. It has 4 lines and 47 stations that go around the city. And Venezuela has a lot of its own underground oil reserves. When I asked the student what would he be doing this time of year in Venezuela, he said, this time of year is the Carnaval, which is a festival of dancing, music, and parades. This event is used as a reminder to celebrate Ash Wednesday, which is coming up soon. The weather in Caracas is usually warm. It's usually about 70-degree temperature. The student claims he got to see his first snow here at Camelsville University. It really is amazing to think how different, but yet how similar, 2 different places can be that are 2,100 miles away.